the strongest characters in anime. That is what we're going to be talking about in this video. And now, first of all, we're not going to be talking about power scaling. We're going to keep each character within their own respective verses, because I can't lie, power scaling is kind of cringe. I am also just going to acknowledge that some characters are able to do a significantly greater amount of stuff than other characters that are going to be in this list. Like, I'm actually so baffled at the fact that Reinhard, despite being literally God, only appears in this series like once or twice, or like he has a total screen time of probably like less than 2 episodes, and it's absolutely insane. And then there's guys like Gojo, who's capable of way less, but is such an integral component within the JJK universe that there was an entire arc written around unsealing this man, because if this man was not present in the revival of Sukuna, everybody knew that the entire world was cooked. Like, this man is literally treated as Jujutsu Jesus to fight against the Jujutsu Antichrist. But that is going to be our main subject. We're going to be measuring the strongest characters based off of how much impact they have left, or how impactful they are within their own respective universe. If you enjoy this type of content, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're really close to getting a 5th on our way to our first 1,000 subscribers. Again, we're trying to hit the 1k by the end of 2026, and so far I'm liking the progression. Honestly, like, I'm kind of surprised at the amount of support I've gotten as of recent, so I appreciate you guys for that. But with that being said, let us start the evaluation. All Might. We're going to be starting off with a similar piece. We're talking about the man, the main cause of the Japanese crime rates dropping to a whopping 3%. And I'm pretty sure he's made some lasting effects in the US as well, because he used to be a hero there as well. And he didn't achieve this through sheer power. I'm saying this because some of the characters that are going to be in this list are physically capable of eradicating 97% of all crimes without even breaking a sweat. And don't get me wrong, All Might is the strongest in the entire verse, at least for a really long time. But he's not insanely broken. Like, there's canonically a character or like a hero who's solved more cases in Japan than All Might has. And when it comes to his powers, it's basically only super strength, right? He can only be so strong and he can only be so fast until you realize that he can't just go from problem to problem, villain to villain, and then teleport and solve the case just like that. Like, bro, some of the quirks in the My Hero Academia universe are so insane. Bro, it's so easy to become a villain in the My Hero Academia universe. Like, if you're born with a quirk that can remotely harm a person or like an environment, you can be a villain and cause a lasting effect to humanity, or like the local area at the very least. Like, literally the slimy villain guy in episode 1 could not be beat by like a group of 5 or 6 heroes, just because his quirk is so good at combat and also just hostaging in general. But okay, we're getting a little bit off topic. The main method in how All Might achieves this like insane crime rate drop and his insane impact to the world is through his social influence. Like, this man is the face of mainstream media in the My Hero Academia verse, to the point that when kids ask for toys in the shelf, they'll ask for you to get the All Might figurine. When you don't know what to have for dinner, you buy the All Might curry. Like, there's All Might merch everywhere in the MHA universe. And this man is crowned a symbol of peace more prevalently than Mahatma Gandhi. His name alone, his existence alone, suppresses all villainy and gives hope to all civilians. Like, this man is portrayed so much as the hope of all children and the admiration of what all the heroes strive to achieve. That, like, despite not being literally, like, not having powers of basically being literally God, like, he has a very high impact. Like, I'd go out my way to say that he's center of the verse, but that's not really the case for the entire series. So I don't know, he's somewhere in between, but I'm gonna put him at the top of high impact for now. Gojo Satoru. We're talking about a guy who tipped the scales of cursed energy within the entire verse ever since birth. Like, this man's mere existence, like, he didn't even have to be old enough to be an active member of the Jujutsu Society in order to influence the entire world with his existence. Like, bro, this guy radiates aura quite literally. And that aura is that this man is so strong, and this man has been so strong since birth, that he's the most known sorcerer without even trying. Because the Jujutsu Society, the only thing they really care about is really power scaling. And like, the scariest thing about this man is that he's in his prime. He's in his prime over the course of the series. He's an active threat, moving around at the peak of his power. Brother, this guy is so strong that even the narrator uses him as a metric to measure how strong other characters are. Like, say for example, Naobito, when he was introduced, he was described as the fastest sorcerer, excluding Gojo Satoru. When the narrator introduced Takaba's technique, it was stated that his technique can rival that of Gojo Satoru. When Higuruma started using RCT against Sukuna, he was stated to hold talent equivalent to Gojo's genius. Even when we're talking about other characters, there's Gojo this, there's Gojo that. The entire plot revolves around Gojo Satoru, even though he's not the main character. Brother, there's two entire arcs that revolve around Gojo. The first one being, well, yeah, the first one being his flashback. Okay, fair enough. But the other one being about unsealing Gojo, because without Gojo, pretty much 99% of the manpower of Jujutsu High is just gone. And 99% of the laws of the Jujutsu Society in general, to the point that the entire Jujutsu Society has become an anarchy, and Kenjaku was able to do whatever the fuck he wanted. Like, bro, where else does this guy go? Where else does this guy go other than the center of the bus? Like, when even the narrator kneels down, and when even the author says that, yeah, okay, I kind of regret having Gojo in the series. Like, at the point of this character making the author say something like that is like, bro, this man is literally the center of the bus. Whether intentionally or not, you can't talk about JJK without Gojo Satoru. It's absolutely insane. Sung Jinwoo. Hold on. I'm about to pull out like the biggest rant about this series. Bro, Solo Leveling is like the most boring read that I actually went through. Like, the premise is so goddamn good for how shallow the entire series is. Like, every single allied character is a placeholder, and every single enemy character is literally an excuse for Sung Jinwoo to aura farm. No. And that's the other thing, right? Jinwoo himself doesn't have a personality. His personality is that he's strong and he's aura farming. Like, bro, couldn't you have made some of the characters a bit more human? Like, I can literally come up with something right now. Like, okay, what if, right? Okay, Jinwoo gets the leveling powers, right? He beats the first big snake boss in that little dungeon down there, right? And then he starts feeling, okay, I'm really strong now. And then he gets naive, right? He starts misinterpreting infinite potential with infinite power. So he goes into a dungeon with enemies that are way more powerful than he currently is, gets his ass whooped, and then gets saved by some S-rank dude. Like, that would have been such a good plot point to be, like, at least sprinkled in to the series. And there's not even like an ick of humanity being shown in any of the characters whatsoever. Like, we just see Jinwoo being the strongest, or being on top of everybody every single fucking time. It's insane. And the primary consequence of that is that I can't get a good metric on how well he's doing, or how much he's contributing to the world. Like, okay, this man saved the world from like a bunch of other demon lords, and okay, he's like going on his way to literally fight gods and shit, and I'm sure he's saving the entirety of planet Earth or whatever, but like, this guy goes beyond being the main character and he just becomes the entire series. Yeah, you are the center of the verse. You are the center of the verse, no doubt. But that's literally because every single other character that's in this series are placeholders. And given, like, if you weren't given all these powers, like, you'd be a placeholder as well. That's how shallow all the characters in this series are. I'm so angry about this. I'm so angry about this series because it has such a good premise. It has such a good premise, and like, anybody, like, literally the author of Sword Art Online could have made this better. Reinhard van Astrea. Bro, this guy has to be the stupidest plot device I've ever seen in my life. No, bro, this guy is so stupidly broken. to the point that the only way the author suppresses this man from taking over the entire plot is to give him the personality of a town guard NPC. I'm not even, like, I shit you not. This guy's power is literally omnipotence explained in extra steps. This man's power, in short, is that he can literally manifest any spirit that he ever so desires, and each spirit has a power to basically control a specific phenomena. Bro, this man is God. Well, this guy has, like, powers equivalent to a god. Like, we're talking about a guy that I don't even think Goku can be. And yeah, okay, I get it. If this guy becomes as active as a Gojo Satoru, he would basically break the plot. But it just feels so weird to me, thinking that when you have a guy that's literally God in terms of power level, like, why does this guy only appear in like 3 fights? And you know what, I'm gonna tell you what, when I was witnessing the Regulus corny ass looking motherfucker getting his ass absolutely whooped, bro, I fucking had a blast watching through all that, bro. Like, Reinhard versus Regulus has to be like the funniest fight of all time. But yeah, that's like the only major fight that he appears in, except for maybe like that one in the first arc. I don't remember much about ReZero, but they, like, you know, it's crazy when a character is so strong that there's literally a law imposed against him from basically roaming around freely. And why I still complain about this is because Reinhardt is strong enough to straight up just ignore this law. He's strong enough to ignore this law and not even face the consequences because no one dares to touch this man. And okay, look, he does have name value across the verse, and that in itself is a threat, so he's not non-existent. He's not, like, I'd give him some impact, right? He does have some impact and he has defeated major figures. But it's just so weird that he's not up here despite, like, why does this man act like a town NPC? Like, he's so humble for how strong he is. It's so weird. It goes past, like, the noblesse oblige kind of shit. Like, it's almost like this man is an entity that's pretending to be a human being. The hero of the South. Now, the reason why I picked this guy over Zeria is because in the Freerun universe, the class system is so tightly enforced. Like, mages are basically explicitly backlines. So they're basically a ranged DPS and they primarily need a frontline like Stark or Aizen. Heroes in this context, right, these guys are basically the balanced class. They've got decent attack, defense, speed, and they're capable of using magic to a good extent. Hold on. Oh, bless me. So what I'm trying to say is that Zeria in terms of actual power level is probably like greater than the Hero of the South, but when it comes to actual fights, if we were to put Zeria one-on-one against the Hero of the South would probably win 100 times out of 100. Now, the Hero of the South has done one thing, or one notable thing that we know of over the course of the series. He basically went and fought the entirety of the main forces of the Demon King all alone, and then decimated half of them before going down himself. Like, this guy, like, the thing that this guy did was literally every man's dream. Like, this man went on his way and fought the source of all evil from the very front, created a meaningful scar before going down, and also was remembered by the people and was celebrated with statues. And like, that's the thing, he did this all because basically he has this ability of foresight, and he foresaw that Freerun and her main crew would eventually defeat the Demon King if he cleared a path towards reaching the Demon King by destroying 50% of his henchmen. Bro, this guy is such a giga chat. I love this man. And bro, when we're talking foresight, there was actually another character called Schlacht on the enemy team that also had a foresight ability. So the theory goes that the Hero of the South and Schlacht were playing like 4D chess against each other on what they were gonna do in the future. And after like thousands of iterations of the Hero of the South decimating everybody, or like the Hero of the South dying completely in vain, they basically met with a compromise of 3 stages of destruction and Schlacht himself in exchange of the Hero of the South. Like, bro, I just love the idea. I don't think it's canon, and I don't think it's been stated, but like I just love the theory of these two playing 4D chess in the future. And like, if the Demon King wasn't defeated, the main plotline wouldn't exist. So this man's like contribution and basically significantly damaging the main forces of the Demon King is like absolutely, like, he's prevalent because he only did one thing, but that one thing just gave such a great wound at the Demon King's forces. It's insane. Yeah, the Hero of the South, yeah, he's prevalent. I gotta at least give him that much, honestly. Saitama. I'm gonna use this guy as another excuse to rant about solo leveling. Like, bro, like, Jinwoo was portrayed to be like the most broken character from start to finish, to the point that the entire series of solo leveling has become like the worst version of One Punch Man, when it's not supposed to be. The premises are completely different to each other. Saitama, right? If we're talking about what he's done in his world, then we can like confidently put him in the center of the verse. Like, he has saved the world like several times over without breaking a sweat. This, like, bro, the thing about Saitama that I find really funny is that this guy is gonna look at the literal incarnate of the devil, or like this guy is gonna look at a monstrosity that's basically an existential threat to humanity, and then be like, chill guys, it ain't that deep. I mean, like, bro, it might not be that deep for you, but like, think about the others for a single second, please. But anyways, yeah, if we're talking just his feats and just his contributions alone, I would put him in the top tier. But the entire series of One Punch Man like fleshes out all the other characters so well, to the point that like I can actually imagine a world without Saitama. Like, I can imagine the other heroes holding off in a world without Saitama. Like, it's gonna be a really high diff, but they're probably gonna be able to pull off maybe like, oh, but there's Boros though. Can they beat Lord Boros? I mean, if Blast comes in last second, I like, does Blast beat Boros? Like, I'm pretty sure he does. They'll be able to hold off up till like Cosmic Garo. Like, bro, Cosmic Garo has to be some BS, bro. I don't even know if he's canon anymore because Murata keeps rewriting the plot. I think Cosmic Garo is the only point where Saitama was actually needed for the sake of saving humanity. Like, the Hero Association is actually quite competent. So like, putting that in mind, I don't know. I think I'll put Saitama in high impact. Like, this guy is basically as active as Gojo Satoru, and he can literally decimate deities. But like, the world of One Punch Man is so well built for me to think that like the world can actually hold off without the aid of One Punch Man himself. So I'm gonna put him in high impact. I'm gonna put him, I don't know, do I put him above All Might? I mean, like, I guess All Might's contributions are kind of region locked because he can only be in one general area at one time. Whereas in the One Punch Man world, every single city basically counts as a country, and Saitama is saving multiple of them confidently. So you know what? Yeah, I'll put him above All Might, but again, he's not the center of the verse for a good reason. Yoriichi Tsugikuni. Brother, who fed this man? Like, this guy is even more of a man of the past than the Hero of the South. This guy was born like 500 years before the main storyline even started. And this guy literally changed and broke the rules of literally everything in order to set the main storyline up. Now, what I mean is that I can literally list out the things that he did that carry all the way over 500 years later into the main storyline, right? First of all, this man is the progenitor of all breathing techniques. This man is the progenitor of the sun breathing, which is so strong that it even negates the regenerative abilities of demons. Like, the scariest part of demons is the fact that their only vulnerability is to either be decapitated by a Nichiren blade or be hit by sunlight. And the former becomes obscure later on in the story, but the sun breathing specifically is just built different, that it cuts demons in a way that is so hard for them to regenerate from. And because that technique was so difficult for people to actually pick up, he made a bunch of simplified techniques, which all of the Hashira in the current storyline utilize. I mean, some of them have derived styles of their own from those simplified styles, but the base of everything was made by Yoriichi. Okay, second thing that carried over is Muzan's PTSD. Brother, when the literal Demon King that had to get debuffed so many goddamn times over to be even for all of the Demon Slayer Corps to actually go against him toe to toe, got sliced into thousands of pieces by one guy on his first encounter. And from that very encounter, Muzan got so fucking... Muzan literally shat himself. And after he somehow, by some whatever level of plot, managed to escape from Yoriichi, this guy went around and basically committed mass genocide on all sun-breathing users. And all this happened after he waited for Yoriichi to get out of his prime. And that's the other thing, right? This guy made Muzan piss himself so much to the point that he locked himself up in a crib and then divided his power into the 12 demon moons so that they can do the grunt work without Muzan having to go out on his way and have even a slither of a chance of someone like Yoriichi going against him again. Like, bro... Like, brother, you know you're not supposed to be in this series when you're giving the final boss PTSD. And yeah, that connects to the third thing. The third thing is that he indirectly made his older brother a demon. Right, his older brother became so jealous of the fact that Yoriichi was basically an incarnate of, like, I don't know, the Sword Saint. Motherfucking Susanoo from Japanese mythology. Like, this man's talent was so insane. And like, we're talking about samurais here, you know. Samurais, they're like a very reputation heavy role, and when we're talking reputation, look, if your younger brother is significantly more skilled than you are, like, no shit you'll get competitive. No shit you'll get like hyper competitive. And in the world of Demon Slayer, where if you become a demon, your physical capabilities increase exponentially, like, I kinda understand it if you take the easier side on obtaining power. And the craziest part is that this man was still weaker than his younger brother, who was literally about to die. Like, he was literally 20 seconds away from dying of age. But yeah, Yoriichi indirectly made his older brother the Upper Moon 1, who became a major threat in the main storyline. Bro, I can go on and on about this man, and his man's not even part of the main storyline. And like, let's be real here, right? Without the breathing techniques that he's invented, like, the Demon Slayer Corps would have probably been decimated, absolutely genocided by the demons before the main storyline even came to be. Like, this man is the only late character that I'm gonna put in the center of the verse. And that has to be like an insane statement. Low-key, Zeno. Now, the thing about Zeno is that he's basically God, right? He's like... In Dragon Ball, there's a bunch of gods, but he's like the one and only god, right? The god above all gods. Like he's so powerful that he can create and destroy universes, like turning a light in your room on and off. Like, this man is such an unstoppable being that's transcended from all laws and all life that he's basically a force of nature at this point. Like, he's a being that you're not even meant to acknowledge his existence of, because he is God. And if God says to erase my existence and the universe altogether, then like, shit, what am I supposed to do, bro? Like, when we're talking impact, we're talking ones that actually fit within the narrative. Like, we're talking existential threats, and we're talking heroes that are saving the world single-handedly. And then there's just God, right? This man is literally like an external force. Now, that's one thing I like about Dragon Ball, right? Zeno is just written as an external force. Like, he's meant to stand nowhere near the grounds of combat in any way, shape, or form. And the same kind of goes with angels. Like, okay, sure, he drove the whole Tournament of Power thing, right? Where the fates of the universes are decided by 10 of their fighters or whatever. But at the end of the day, he didn't even do anything to those universes. So like, even after that plot point, he's kind of just been non-existent. He's honestly non-existent, but for like a really good reason. I'll give him that. Like, I think he's got a comfortable spot here. And there you go, that is the tier list of how impactful the strongest figures in anime actually are. If you enjoyed watching this video, please consider like, commenting, and subscribing to our channel. Again, we're basically a fifth on the way of hitting 1,000 subscribers, and I want to keep this shit going, you know. If you have any content suggestions, drop them in the comments down below. If you watched up till this point of the video, then I appreciate that as well. But now my throat hurts because that was a long ass recording, and with all that said, it is now goodbye.